We good to go? All right, thanks, Cassie. All right, good morning, everybody. Call the Infrastructure Committee to order. Notice the meeting was posted on October the 20th. All three districts are represented. Item 1 is to approve the minutes of October 9.
I will move the minutes.
I'll second. All in favor? Aye.
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 All right. Item 2 is discussion regarding the TIF 2 and TIF 2A budgets. Given that Stacy's not here, I'm going to assume that there's no updates unless, Nick, do you know? Okay. Unless you have questions, we can go a no action there. 3 is our capital improvements list. Are there any questions on that list? Otherwise,
I do have a comment on that list.
Sure.
Charles had called it to my attention that the last meeting he had requested for $350,000 to be added under the courthouse 9th floor HVAC under courthouse, and I didn't see it on the schedule that was printed out, and so I just wanted to make note of that.
Yeah.
We need to make sure that that's added for $350,000.
Yes, we did do that, Jessica. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. Nick, can you, I'll give you mine.
I have it highlighted.
Do you have it marked up?
I do.
Yeah, if you'll just provide that to him afterwards and make sure we get that next time, okay?
Yeah.
Anything else?
Good catch, thank you.
How about a motion then, just since we took that action to make sure that they add that to the list?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item 4 is our ARPA, I can't talk, opera projects list, right? ARPA projects list. And Stacy's really not been doing anything with this because we have our owner's rep here. So unless there are questions on that, I think we'll proceed in that direction. Okay, no action on item 4. Item 5, Keith, is our courthouse elevators, which are nearing completion.
It's my understanding that the C elevator is up and running and is sequencing with the other 2. And we're awaiting final inspections from the state elevator inspector.
Still on track?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Is there a motion to receive Keith's update?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Item 6. Item 6 is the discussion regarding the potential for a build out of some space in the old snack bar for the DA's office.
I think given the forward momentum, we need to engage a contractor and build this space out for use for the district attorney's payment booth.
And Keith, based upon kind of your guesstimates, what are we looking at dollar wise? I know we won't know.
It all depends on how nice you want to make this payment booth. You know, if you want carpeting and plastic and woodwork, we can go that route. But keep in mind, it's a temporary thing. And so we'll try and hold the cost down. I don't think this will exceed, certainly not $10,000.
Okay. All right. Is there a motion to recommend to the Board of County Commissioners to proceed with building out this space for the DA?
I'll make, okay, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Keith. Myself hung up. Okay, item 8 is an update from the Citizens Oversight Advisory Board, and I believe that they canceled their last meeting, so probably a no action on item 8. Item 9. What's that?
7. Mr. White on number 7.
Yeah, Mr. White on number 7.
Oh, I apologize. Okay. Well, how about we take care of item 8 then, since I got there.
Okay.
So no action on item 8. Item 7, Mr. White, I apologize.
Good morning.
Good morning. This is our owner's rep update.
Go through the projects. Overall, the elevators are on design progress. We've done the inspections and electrical inspections, mechanical inspections, and designer is proceeding. Juvenile Justice Lobby is under contract and began on October 16th, last Monday. Court clerk, social distancing, we have the asbestos bids in and complete. I think contracts pending still. And so we're on schedule for that. Sheriff's Office, Midwest City, we've received preliminary documents that we're reviewing, and we are supposed to have a meeting this week with them. Clerk's books, first floor, is on schedule, no change. Third floor purchasing, I understand, complete, moved up this weekend. We still have a couple punch list items, but is doing well. Annex security, the design is 100%. Our final notes and review of the documents are to the designer, and that will be ready for bidding next month at the discretion of Stacy. Drainage culvert, no changes. Juvenile justice roof, the upper area is complete. They're moving to the lower detention area. And so the coordination of that site is going fine with the lobby and the roof. Again, Camry security is complete. For submittals, and I believe they're going to start this week. Elevators are the same. Behavioral health services facility, really no change there. Existing jail HVAC, the design team is still reviewing. I understand the contracts in place. The roof replacement, the contract is pending, or did we get it out? Yep. So we have the roofing and metal contracts for the detention center pending, going through the process. And that's where we're at right now.
Okay, and on those four that involve the jail, we will need to do MOUs between the BOCC and the trust for that. And I believe, Lisa, thank you for drafting one of those. Those should be forthcoming relatively soon. Okay, are there any other questions for Mr. White? Okay, is there a motion?
Thank you.
I'll make the motion to receive the report.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, item 9 is our schedule of meetings for next year. I don't know if you all had a chance to take a look at that. We have a meeting scheduled for, we have 2 meetings in December. One is December the 9th, which is a Monday, and then there is a meeting scheduled for the week of Christmas, December the 23rd. What I'd like us to consider doing is removing that to December 23rd.
Yes, agreed.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the schedule of meetings? What's that, Cassie? I'm sorry.
I do just want to point something out real quickly. On November the 12th, the meeting time is for 10:30. That's because it's scheduled the same day due to a holiday as policy and governance. So we just moved it to just thereafter.
All right, thank you, Cassie. Appreciate that.
And it'll be the same for PBA advisory.
Okay, so is there a motion to?
Adoption of the schedule with the amendment of eliminating the December 23rd meeting.
Is
Okay.
there,
I'll second that.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Do we have any citizens' participation? Board comments? Jessica?
None for me.
No, thank you.
None here. Is there new business? Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We got 5 minutes, y'all.
Okay. And hit join. Mhm. Oh, thank you.
All righty, being 10:15. Cassie, we ready? Okay. Call PBA advisory to order. Notice the meeting was probably posted on October 20. Um, Given that Jared Davidson has come down to join us today and he has some time constraints, I'd like to jump down to item 6 real quick, if that's okay with both of you. And that is discussing possible action related to the issuance of revenue bonds by the PBA. Hey, Jared, appreciate you coming down with a tight schedule, and we'll try to get you out of here real quick.
Sure. Good morning.
Anyone have any questions? I think, Jared, you had previously presented us with a couple scenarios that we might look at in terms of issuances.
Mhm.
On the high end, it was around 28 million.
That's right. On the high end, about 27 and a half, 27.6. On the low end, we were looking, all the way, if you kind of cut all the way down and just do parking revenues only, on a 15-year, it's about 12 and a half. Parking revenues only is about 18 and a half on a 30-year basis. And then kind of anything in between. So that 27 and a half roughly is would be a 30-year bond issue at roughly today's interest rates. Those interest rates have kind of gone up since I was here about a month and a half or so ago, 2 months ago. We've kind of seen a steady uptick in those, just kind of as the natural market flows.
Okay. And I think you had indicated that once a decision was reached, if we want to go in this direction, we could look at 60 to 90 days on the issuance. Is that remaining?
Yeah, no, that stays super consistent, and that's just more of a timing, point from depending on which path we go, whether we go a privately placed deal with just a bank, for instance, or we do a full-blown negotiated bond issue. The full-blown negotiated bond issue tends to take about that extra 30 days, just with the preparation of the official statement and those kinds of things.
Okay. And then in terms of what language would be needed, I think we had discussed it would be better to list projects, but we would also have some flexibility in that language as well. Is that right?
That's right. So I would encourage you to drill down on, broad capital improvement projects. We would use some including but not limited to language, just in case, some of those, kind of give you leeway either way. So if a project comes in over budget, then you would have, some expediency to move dollars around. If it came in under budget, then you could pick up additional projects, as you go. So.
Okay. And we had also talked last time, to make sure I'm remembering this correctly, that the PBA, as a beneficiary of the county, bonds that were issued by the PBA could be used to fund county capital projects.
That's correct. Yes. So general county governmental projects, any governmental project or purpose of the county would be eligible to be funded by the PBA. I think I also remember we've typically used OIA as the conduit issuer for PBA secured revenues, just kind of as a pass-through lease revenue structure. And that has typically helped with our rating process when we've done a rating in the past, because OIA has just been a more frequent issuer and kind of has the benefit of the name recognition in the market. So.
Okay. And so kind of walk us through that. What just will entail some MOUs in order to do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you would assist in drafting that?
Of course.
Okay.
So typically the process from here, it would be that PBA advisory makes a recommendation to PBA. PBA would then request OIA to issue an amount of bonds or notes in a not to exceed amount, identifying those specific projects. OIA would then take up that resolution at a meeting, and then that would come back to BOCC for ratifying and confirming action, since OIA is also a county beneficiary public trust.
Okay. All right.
Remind me, forgive me, I think we've discussed this before, but what are the constraints of the spend? You touched on that a little bit, but can you get into detail about what the guardrails are, and what we can and cannot spend?
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am. So to issue tax exempt, the date that we sell those bonds or sell that note, we have to reasonably expect that we will spend at least 85% of those proceeds within 3 years from the date of issuance. There are some, other timelines and things that we have to meet in there. Have to have 5% of those funds obligated, within 6 months. Have some additional spending, exceptions and those kinds of things. But the golden rule that we try to live by is we would like to have all of those projects identified, bid, encumbered, and paid by 3 years from the issue date of those bonds.
And is there a limitation on the type of project?
So long as it's capital, that is completely acceptable. Yes, ma'am.
Language like for a public purpose or anything along those lines?
We can include certainly anything in there. I mean, to get the benefit of the tax exemption, it has to be for a specific governmental purpose.
Right. Okay, I think those are my questions.
Jessica, do you have anything for Jared?
I don't have any questions. I know that Commissioner Mon is opposed to um, um, the issuing of the bonds in regards to making sure that we have equity in the future for any unexpected expenses in regards to capital projects or fulfilling the jail. And so I just wanted to let you know that's where we stand in our office.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. Monroe?
Yep.
Should expected revenues from the revenue streams pledged fall for whatever reason, is there any kind of a mechanism that this board should be made aware of to underpin the value of the projects?
Yeah. So I mean, that's kind of part of the analysis, that would go in. And so, under the current structure, any bonds that are issued and any future bonds that would be issued, you're required to maintain a 1.25 times debt coverage, kind of as that additional security. And so, kind of what I told you on the front end is that $27.5 million. That puts you at a 30-year bond issue. That puts you at pretty darn close to that 1.25. I'd say 1.25, 1.3. So that still covers all of your operating expenses and leaves you with a little bit of a cushion. The lower that number goes, the bigger cushion you're going to have. And so that's a great point to bring up. We also, I think I mentioned this, we also looked at just the parking revenue, if we were to just kind of segregate out, what we anticipated parking revenues from the parking garages to be, and that was the 12 and $18 million numbers. But of course, we would want to work with you guys to refine that should you choose to move forward.
And Jared, can I go back, the 3 years of issuance?
Mhm.
If we were to issue, say we did 25 millions and we did 3 series, 10, 10, and 5,
Mhm.
it's that 3-year window kicks off from the issuance of the series.
Of each series,
Okay.
yes, sir. So if we issued, it on, right after Christmas or, first of the year, this year, next year, we would have until January 1, 2028 to, hit that 3-year mark. If we kicked another year out, then we would have, 2029 for that issue and 2026 and so on and so on. So it's a staggered 3 years. So each issuance has that 3-year test date.
Okay, thank you, Jared. Is there anything else?
None for me.
Okay. I know we had talked about having some project list. I've got mine fairly close. I need to go back and touch base with the commissioner. Then we had some things that came up that might require some expenditure of funds in the parking garage recently. Need to look at getting some numbers there.
Okay.
If we were to, Jared, just schedule a special meeting, work with you to find a date
Yep.
here in the next week to 10 days.
Absolutely. No,
Okay.
happy to make myself available. We can sit down. We can have more of a working work session type.
That's perfect. We
you
also
know.
have a list in progress that I think is very close to being completed as far as
Sure.
where D3 is coming from.
Okay, it sounds like D2 won't have a list, but could you do a special?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Let's consider doing that then. How about I work with Jared to try to find out a time that he's available and then work with the clerk to get this set up? Okay,
Great.
all right. Jared, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
guys. Thank
Okay.
you.
For your time and flexibility.
Of course.
today.
All right, is there a motion on our discussion on item 6?
I'll move to receive the report.
I'll second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Let's jump back up if we could and approve our minutes of the 9th of October.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item 2 is a discussion and possible action on our ARPA capital projects, including design, start and completion dates, bid lettings, project awards. Is there anything on this? Okay, looks like a no action on item 2. Item 3 is discussion possible action on OG&E and their installation of electric service for chargers. Keith, we voted last time to make a recommendation to PBA to do this. Do we?
We've received the construction documents and contracts from OG&E, and so we're ready to move forward there. I think they are. It's interesting, though, when it comes to providing service, when it comes to providing the equipment, this is so new. There's a lot that's being changed here. So programs, companies, third-party entities that will monitor, bill, and oversee the use of the electric service all come into play. So there will be more than likely some kind of a contract necessary with a service provider once the hardware is installed. So we're learning more about this as we move along, but certainly the infrastructure is ready to be installed.
Okay, so we can move forward on the infrastructure
Yes.
and await any contracts or other arrangements,
Yes.
particularly for our service
Yes.
provision. Okay, all right. Is there a motion to receive this update?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 4 is our ICB exterior envelope project.
I think you can leave the rest of these up to Mr. White. He can speak to all of these.
Okay, so no action on item 4. Can Mr. White or Keith, can we go ahead and remove item 5, the Kraus redesign architect? Okay, is there a motion to strike item 5?
I'll move to strike item 5.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we dispensed with item 6. Item 7 is Mr. White's update for our PBA projects.
Good morning again.
Hello, again.
Emergency op, currently the schematic design is accepted, the contract's in place. We're scheduling a date, the next, for October 31st. There's 3 dates we're trying to get to, but for the final schematic design review before they go into CDs and DD construction drawings. So we'll get that done, have all the stakeholders there and confirm the final design layout.
If all moves as we hope, when do we actually think that we'll begin the construction phase of the project?
Probably second quarter of next year.
Thank you, sir.
Elevators, as previously discussed, in the designer's hands and moving forward. The camera security system that's complete. ICB is working through budgets and design through 2 different architects. So we're doing the chicken and the egg thing a little bit. We have the interior design, but it's got to be complementary and work with the outside design. And we're trying to get the contracts in place and facilitate that design for the project.
In the plan with the exterior group, they were going to work on a couple of different options.
Correct.
And I think it was like a 4 to 6 window or so.
So the budget, depending on the budget, the exterior surface of glass, as it increases the budget. We stay with the brick, it decreases the budget. This is further integrated with a now requirement for an interior stairs. So all those things have to balance out. And we're working through that.
Are we still within that 4 to 6 week window to see those?
Yes,
Okay.
as far as I understand, yes.
Thank you, sir. All right, are there questions? Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to receive report.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Item 8 is Keith's notice to our tenants in the ICB. I think Keith shooting for the December 1 notification to be in compliance with a 30-day notice if things proceed on our interior and exterior coordination. Thoughts?
I'd like to give the tenants over there as much time as is possible for them to put their affairs in order. And remember, there have been ongoing discussions which have led them to believe this is coming at some point. But a December kind of an exit puts us into the holidays. I'd hope that we'd be able to make it as easy on them as possible, and perhaps sometime after the first of the year.
So look for the first meeting of the new year to send the notice and an exit from the facility sometime in early February.
Yes.
Okay. Right. Do we want to hold on to this item for a little bit longer? Or are you wanting to make that recommendation now to PBA?
If you would please make that recommendation now so we can give our tenants
That's my preference.
notice as much as possible with an exit date sometime in February.
Okay, Keith, if you'll fill those dates in and put the letter onto the PBA, we'll make that as a recommendation from this body.
Thank you.
Okay. That'll be my motion.
Second.
Pardon? Yeah, the motion would be to recommend to the PBA to provide the tenants in the ICB with notice to vacate. I don't have the exact date at the first meeting of January 24, with that vacation to be early in the first part of the month of November. Keith will provide the specific dates. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, 9 is our meeting schedule, and so we're linked up with the infrastructure. How about a motion to approve the schedule, less the December 23rd meeting?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, citizens' participation. Board comments, anyone?
No, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, new business?
None?
And adjourn.
So moved.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Jessica, thanks.
Thank you.